Okay, so Jazz and I are here today to make pancakes primarily, but also just to let you know a little bit about the In-Care Council and what it's all about. You might be watching this video because you want to join and you're a little bit unsure about what it's all about, so that's the plan. We're going to make pancakes and talk. Potentially, it's an experiment. We're going to try.
Okay.
I'm Tilda. I work at Off the Record. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm one of the facilitators of the In-Care Council. And today I am joined by.
Hi, I'm Jazz, and I am a young ambassador in the Adolescent and Care Experience team. So some of your PAs or social workers might be in that team too. And my role is to kind of get your voice heard and kind of make any changes to hacks or forms or anything you'd like to see, or deliver some training. So that's kind of what I get up to.
Excellent stuff. So the reason we're making pancakes is it is going to be Pancake Day soon, and we are having an event for Pancake Day, which you're all invited to. So please come along, and if you would like to make pancakes, DM us, email us, and we'll send you ingredients right to your front door, and you can try this at home, like us, on Pancake Day, and try and talk and make pancakes. So before we start burning pancakes and everything goes horribly wrong, Jazz, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, just so people know who you are and, yeah, why you're here?
I've been part of the Senior In-Care Council since I was 11, so I only recently just kind of left and went into more of like a, I guess, facilitating role, really, in my new role. So I have had experience of being in care and part of the group. And now I'm a care leaver, and so yeah, that's kind of a bit about me.
Lovely stuff. I've definitely put too much butter in this. Okay, so first things first. Yeah, I was just wondering if you could tell me about when you first joined.
Yeah, so I joined about 8 years ago now, so a little while ago. But I joined because I felt that some things needed to kind of be improved and changed, and I wasn't particularly happy with the paperwork I was sent, and I wasn't happy with it being sent it right when I moved into care. So we're still thinking about when the appropriate time for young people to receive information is. But my first event was we went to Jimmy Spice's, which is now shut down in Bath.
Such a classic, Jimmy Spice's.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yes, that was my first event, and everyone was really friendly. We were just sort of eating and chatting and doing a little bit of thinking about what we'd like to change, really. So yeah, that was kind of my first event, but everyone was really friendly, and I started to make friends there, which was really nice, and get to know people who were in care too. And I think that for me was quite important, because I felt quite isolated. I didn't know anyone who'd been in care. I didn't really know what being in foster care was, and I think the key thing with that is everyone's experiences of being in care is totally different, and kind of whatever your experience is, that's okay, and it's not it's not necessarily going to be that you have exactly the same experience as the next person, but kind of being able to connect on the similar level is quite nice. So that's yeah.
Absolutely, bit of community. Okay, this pancake is not a pancake. I'm going to have to throw it away.
Really?
It is just ugly. Nobody wants to eat it, you know? It's not cute. I'm going to scrape it away and start from scratch. Growing and learning, everybody. Growing and learning. Cool. So that's a little bit about your first session, I guess, and sort of where you all started out. It'd be really good to know sort of like since then, like what an average session looks like, and like, is there an average session? Like, does it really vary? Yeah, what should people expect if they come to an in-care council session?
We do more like project work, so things that we're going to kind of do ourselves and kind of explore. Mine's squeaking now. I didn't know that that's supposed to happen, but squeaking at me.
A squeaky pancake. It doesn't sound quite right. Are we doing it right?
Yeah, so kind of it, and like the sessions are kind of what we want it to be, really. You know, sometimes we have more like arts and craft based stuff, so a bit more creative. Sometimes it is more sort of like helping to create documents. We have done like fun events outside, so we've been playing and we like going out for dinner.
What's your
yeah, so kind of it really does sort of vary. We you know, session by session really, because we meet at the moment sort of fortnightly, don't we? So
yeah, absolutely. We're sort of online at the minute, but we've done some stuff throughout 2020 in person, and we like meeting both ways, really. Like, we want to spread our engagement out far and wide. If you live far away, we totally want to do that online, but we do want to have that in-person connection and community, as you said, also. So I guess that sort of varies a little bit, but there'll be big things happening, you know, in person eventually when that's allowed.
when we're allowed to see each other.
Cool. So you mentioned like project work. How do you choose what projects you work on?
So like if a member of the group's got an idea about something they'd like to change, then we can work on that. We have quite a lot of freedom, so anything that we think needs changing or improving or something, just something we'd like to do, we're always quite supported to do that. And also from the council, that there have been suggestions and things. If they're like involved in something and they think it would be good for us to do, then the idea kind of gets floated past us, and sometimes it's like, no, we're not doing that. And sometimes it's great, and actually as young people kind of we're happy to do that. So sorry, I have a pet bunny and he just moved, but it was quite loud and it really
startled you
behind me. Yeah.
Oh, the bunny wants pancakes.
Yeah, I don't think that he can really have pancakes.
Yeah, probably not. Are there any that like really stand out to you, like any successes, any highlights, and you're like, I'm really glad I worked on that?
I think for me, I really like being part of interview panels. Something that I think is something that is really, really important. And I like training, so I've done lots of being part of kind of interview panels. So I've done stuff for health, I've done stuff for the independent reviewing officers, I've done stuff for social workers and PAs. And I've done stuff within off the record as well. So I have done quite a few.
What's it like being on an interview?
It's a little bit scary to start with, if I'm being honest, because you're meeting with someone who's going for a job, which is a little bit kind of surreal to start with, I suppose. But I've always felt really supported and like always felt really listened to. And I guess, like, for me, the importance of it is, like, I've always come into the interviews very, like, young person focused. Like, I am a young person, and to be honest with you, like, if we're, like, recruiting managers and things, like, their ability to manage finances is very important. However, not really what I'm interested in. And so I've always kind of, you know, scored them based on kind of how they'd work with young people and things like that, and how they'd manage people that work with young people, if that makes sense. So so that's been quite useful, and I've, you know, had feedback over the years that it's been good to have me a part of the panels. But yeah, I've always felt like me being there has made a difference. Nice, and I've, you know, been listened to, and I've always had feedback from them to say who was, like, appointed and, like, why. And it's really funny because, like, now I'm in this young ambassador role, I'm starting to work with people that I interviewed.
That's so weird.
It's a little bit strange.
That's just amazing, though. That's so exciting. Like, that you were part of their journey and now you're all working together.
It's not
person, Jazz. It'd be good to know, sort of, like, as a whole, how you think the In-Care Council has impacted on you. Just generally, sort of, like, what mark has the In-Care Council left on your life?
Yeah, so I guess right back through. So I started when I was 11. I wanted to be a vet. I don't know why. I didn't know. I clearly don't want to be a vet now. But that was always the dream and kind of aspiration that I had when I was younger. And, you know, through being in care, you know, I really enjoyed getting my voice heard and kind of working more on, like, a social side. Really enjoyed that. And it's led me to, like, the opportunities I've had now. So, as I say, I work in social care, and I aim to go into, like, social work, sort of, like, as a long-term career, really. And I would never have thought, I don't know, it's hard to say, but I doubt that I would never have kind of had I wouldn't have had those experiences that have made me realise that's what I wanted to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunities I've had, because it has developed me into the person I am today, which is funny when you think about it.
Yeah, 100%. And, like, as you said, like, seeing people you've interviewed in the same office that you work now, like, having seen all those people through all those processes, all those projects, these people that you've been working with since you were 11, and now you're in a paid role and you're off doing something that you've been able to do since you were a kid, really. Like, it's just amazing.
It does open doors, definitely. And even, like, so I also work at the hospital as a healthcare assistant, and, like, even that, like, I had so many transferable skills. So skills that you can kind of you learn, and then you can use them sort of in more than one sort of area, I guess. And but even that, within my interview, I spoke about. They asked me, had I ever delivered bad news? And I was like, in my personal life, I was, you know, I didn't say all this, but I thought, oh God, like, I don't know I really have. But I reflected on a time where I'd interviewed someone, and then there was someone I knew, but we didn't give them the job. And, you know, I spoke about that, and, like, using examples like that within an interview, like, I would never ever have had that experience, like, you know, outside of the In-Care Council, because I was 17 when I started the hospital, so I was still quite young and hadn't really had any other experiences. So it's it's helped me along the way.
One final question for you today, and I guess that question really is for the people that might be watching this today, why you think young people who are care experienced should join the In-Care Council.
I guess, you know, it kind of gives you a space to be you and kind of explore what being in care means to you in terms of like meeting other people and seeing how you can make change to the things that, you know, the practice that you have. And can you hear the music in the background?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Next door suddenly started putting on like really loud music, and it really just threw me. Then I thought, hang on a minute, okay, you're going to be able to hear this through them.
No worries.
And also, like, as I said before, like it really does help you, like in your like CV and like going forward and growing as a person.
Yeah. To emphasise, like, if you're a part of the In-Care Council, you don't have to go on to social work. Like, you don't have to be interested in going.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's loads of transferable skills you can pick up for sort of like any interview. Outside of like the skills you might gain from the projects and the activism, it's just a nice group. It's just a nice group of people. It's just nice meeting everyone and like having those chats, having that sense of community. I always love meeting with the In-Care Council. It's such a really solid team. I haven't made a single pancake. It's not going well. I'm going to hold up. I'm trying. Ta-da! How's it going on your end, Jazz? Do you have a pancake to show us?
I have a few.
You've got a whole batch of pancakes. They look amazing. If you would like to have a whole batch of pancakes, like the lovely Jazz, then come along to our event on Pancake Day, Tuesday the 16th at 5:30. There's also one earlier in the day at 1 if you can't make that. We'd really love to see you there. If you'd like to find out anything else about the In-Care Council, you can email me, you can email Jazz, and we'd love to have you. So please send your questions. Any final words, Jazz?
I think it would just be great to see as many people there as possible. I think it's just a really nice kind of event. Make some pancakes, or not, as the case might be. And just have some fun. It'd be great.
Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time today. It's been lovely to see you as always. And enjoy your pancakes. I'll see you probably next week.
I need to evacuate. Hilda, the fire alarm's going off.
Bye.